6th of August.
Hello, welcome to Isolation Gigs. I pressed the button a little bit quickly there. We're back on a Thursday. We're not back for long, but we're here on a Thursday at 1:39 in the afternoon on a really hot day, and it is the 30th of July. And
yes, it is.
We thought we'd just pop online and say hello.
Hello.
That's it.
We're
right.
And bye. How are you, Elliot?
I'm all right. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, enjoying the well, say I'm enjoying the sunshine. I haven't really been out today yet.
No, while sat inside.
Yeah, while sat inside. But I'm going to go for a long walk in a bit and probably get burned. So
nice.
that'll be fun. And yeah, it's been good. Yeah, stuff's, there's little bits and pieces of work starting to come in and things like that, and just planning things for like the future, whenever that is. What about you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Had a little bit of I'd say just a low-key sort of few days. Yeah, just kind of felt a little bit under energy, but nothing major. Just, it was just a few days of kind of, okay, I'll slow down. And I mean, I say I'll slow down. I think every time I say that, I think, well, it wasn't exactly like I was going at 100 miles an hour anyway, but it's kind of, I think, a mental slowdown. Like I get to a point where I start getting inspired. I start then getting kind of impatient with the fact that maybe we can't go out and do what we want to do and create properly and stuff. So then it sort of sometimes overwhelms me, and then I'm like, okay, just take a step back and breathe, and it's all good. Like, it will all come in its own time. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I'm loving, like, I went and had my breakfast outside today, and just feeling the sun. It's like, oh, it is summer. Like, remember, it's summer, and we have got, when we've got nice weather, and when you've got sort of places you can go and, like you say, have a long walk, or just enjoy yourself in like simple ways. I think it's a good, the sun makes me remember that, and it's like, oh, okay, we can enjoy, we can have some fun, and everything's great, really.
That old vitamin D.
Yeah,
it's good. Everything's better when the sun's out.
Always.
I woke up really, really early this morning, about 4:30, and the sun was already coming through my window.
Coming through my window.
I did go back to sleep, but because it was way too early to get up. But yeah, the sun was coming through the window, and you could just tell that even then it was hot. Like, it was burning through, and I was like, I'll shut the blind because it's too hot. But you can kind of tell, and it does set up the day a bit better, doesn't it, than when you wake up. I don't find the weather is so bad in the winter because you kind of expect it to be shit.
Yeah, you get very used to it, don't you? You're like, okay, this is the norm, so I can sort of adjust.
And normally we have like inside places we go in the winter, but obviously not at the moment. But during the summer, when everything's literally moved outside, everything moved outside because of this situation, the weather becomes even more important because everything you plan to do is literally outside. So
precisely,
when it's crap for like 2 or 3 days in a row, like the last weekend was a bit odd, wasn't it? It was kind of
I think odd's the right word. I think I mean, we've talked about, we definitely get affected by the weather, don't we? I think everyone does, really, to some degree. But when it just goes a bit sort of confusing, and you're not really sure what it's doing, and you're not really sure what it's wanting from you, you're kind of a bit like, what do I do? And don't know. So your mood sort of is affected. I always find that a little bit. I try and sort of overcome it and not let it affect me too much. But as you say, right now everything we can do is outside, so it's harder.
Yeah, exactly. And you plan stuff, and you maybe book somewhere or meet up with people at a certain place, and then it pisses down with rain and you can't really go inside because there's not really anywhere to go. Maybe shops and things like that. But but apart from that, it's been an all right, reasonably productive week so far. Put out a blog about the Isolation Gigs, which if anyone's not seen, I'll post on the comments. Just a blog kind of explaining about what we've been doing and the kind of journey through through this whole period, which is, I don't even know how long it's been. Probably,
I think we might be on the 18th week or 19th. I did count the other day and I've forgotten which week when I counted it. Like it might have been last week that I counted. So then it's, but yeah, we definitely, what are we now? We're definitely sort of nearly 4.5 months in, I think. Is that right?
Probably,
April, May, June, July. Yeah, and now we're going into August, like very soon up. So yeah, 4.5 months. Yeah, your blog, everyone that's watching right now, definitely check out. I will put the link in, but check out his blog because it's your perspective, isn't it? And you did have to self-isolate for a long time where you didn't see anybody. And so I think it's a really sort of interesting perspective, especially with all the stuff that you and I obviously supported you doing, all the stuff, the creative stuff that you did in that time. It's quite, when I think back, it's quite mad, isn't it? It's like, oh, yeah, that was a lot of productivity in a very kind of almost stifled time. So it's well worth the read.
It is, well, hopefully, and it was a long time, and even though it was a long time, it was kind of a very packed full of activity time at the same time as doing not very much. So I've tried to kind of explain the kind of the feeling of it being weird, exciting, but also scary and not particularly nice. So
and like I think, you know, obviously we've taken a couple of weeks off the podcast, and I think we've both probably we've obviously stepped back a little bit from our online gigging for the time being, haven't we? Sort of, I feel like we're going through a bit of a regroup, aren't we? Kind of, right, like that, you know, we've had that intense isolation period. It kept us productive and as kind of out there for people and present as we could be, but with it sort of changing and certain things opening up and people starting to do sort of outdoor gigs, and there's changes happening within our world, like we just needed I think we naturally just took a step back and sort of regrouping, replanning and deciding where to sort of navigate to next, aren't we?
Things were naturally gonna go that way. I think, like, I don't think you can kind of keep up that kind of gigging schedule for that long, all in the same place. So it was really fun when it lasted, but it'd be nice to come back and do the odd one here and there, but it's just a natural cycle.
Definitely. And I think everyone's kind of experiencing it. Everyone's just trying to find their groove, aren't they? Decide, you know, where, because we've still got a long time before there's any real kind of structure in the arts and in the music world, and I think it's realistic to kind of think like that. And so it's kind of, okay, we've got the summer, the sun's out, we've got some time, like how do you want to use that? And you know, there's lots of ways you can, and it doesn't mean you have to stay, you don't have to pull yourself away from the world, like the music and performing world. It's like there's things you can do, you can still keep proactive, but equally, like it's quite, I found I think I started, like you say, there's only so long you can gig in the one place. I think I started to feel just a sort of sadness and frustration that was and is our kind of foreseeable future, that I just needed to go, okay, let's take a moment and just kind of decide how to navigate.
In some ways, I do miss the lockdown period, because everything was like, you know, I knew I was going to do a gig every Saturday.
Yeah.
I completely rearranged my house and kind of set up my set lists every week to do like different songs and things like that. But there's only so many songs you can do, and there's only so many songs you can learn, and there's only so many songs you can play over and over again to essentially the same audience.
Yeah.
Because you're not going anywhere. It's different if you were going to a different venue every week, you could play the same set and it'd be different people.
Oh yeah, 100%. And you know, that's kind of our reality. Like, you know, you have your sort of repertoire, and you take it various places, and you take it to new audiences, and that is possible online. We've seen that a lot. You know, there's various different festivals happening, and people you can get involved with, which branch you out to a new audience, which is great. But yeah, and that's not going to go away. It's just knowing what's good for you in that moment, isn't it? And saying, okay, done a lot of that, let's take a moment and see.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that, and I think most people have done that. A lot of people are starting to do gigs and things again. There's a few things happening, and bits and pieces here and there, but obviously not a lot. And I think it'll be like that for the foreseeable future. So yeah, it's just easy.
Sorry. Yeah, I did watch a Q&A with an agent the other day, a musical theatre sort of agent, and he was really honest. It was great. It was really great to hear such an honest kind of take on it. And obviously it's everybody's perspective, and everyone's having different sort of information sourced to them. That doesn't really make any sense, but you know what I mean. But they were talking about pantomimes and things we've occasionally discussed on here, and he just feels that it's very unlikely that probably will go ahead this year. It might just be, you know, and if it does, it's going to be very difficult, because to be what it usually is, which is a very kind of interactive audience participation show. But the hard thing about that is that most theatres rely on the pantomime season to sort of keep them going for the next phase and the next period. And it's hard. I mean, no one has the answers, and who knows, pantomime may well go ahead, and you know, it's great, but I think it's good to have just good to have a realistic outlook on it, and then you can plan a little. Like, if you plan for things to maybe not be exactly how you'd like them to be, then you give yourself that leeway, don't you, just to cope with it a bit better, and to actually find some way to be productive in this time, rather than just feel like you're waiting for your normal life to resume. And so it's good to
take the bonuses as they come.
Yeah, exactly that.
Of course, we lost Phantom, unfortunately, yesterday.
That's just actually quite crazy.
That's doesn't get a lot bigger than that in the West End, does it? And
no.
To see something like that go makes you realise, a lot more are probably going to go.
Yeah, they are.
Sadly, but they could return, but
everyone's just got to do what they've got to do to survive right now, and to there have already been, and there's going to continue to be some hard blows, I think, but that's why you just got to look after yourself and know what is good for you to think about and to be spending your energy and your time on, because there is a lot of change going on, and what we've been used to is going to be different.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish it could be more like, woo!
I know. Yeah, I mean, they tried a socially distanced show in the Clapham Grand on Tuesday. I think Frank Turner and Beans on Toast and a few people. I kind of feel like it was a box ticking exercise, because just looking at the numbers, you could tell even before it happened, it was never going to financially work.
No.
I think they had 200 people in or something.
Yeah.
That venue's massive. You've played there, haven't you?
Yeah, it's huge.
The artists took no fee either, and they still didn't break even. So I feel like that was a box ticking exercise to kind of go, well, it doesn't work. Look, it can't work.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a massive reality check that, we can't really have venues like that with like 100 people in or 200 people in. It's just
not feasible.
It's not. You've got to pay all the staff. You've got to pay the production costs. You've got to pay everyone to come in and do the normal show, and yet make nowhere near the same money. So something's got to be done there, and hopefully that is a kind of. I think that will happen a lot. They'll do things like that, and then they'll be like, "Well, yeah, we've got people in, but if this limit that we can have, then it's not going to work.
No.
But yeah, be interesting to see. Anyway, someone has commented that they miss you, and hey guys.
Hey guys, miss you, Chloe. I miss you too. I don't know who that is because it says Facebook user, but hello, and yeah, I'm sure that I miss you very much, whoever you are, because I miss everybody, you know.
And thank you for commenting, and thank you for being with us.
Yeah, thank you. We did say, you know, we're coming on to do a little announcement, but as always, we get into a bit of a chat, don't we? Like to put the world to rights slightly, and you know, I'm sure let us know out there if you're watching that, you know, there's anything that you're thinking about that resonates with what we're talking about. I'm sure there is, and also how you're doing. Like it's we're interested, aren't we? Like that's kind of why we started the podcast, to check in with people, find out who they are, how they are, what they're doing specifically in the isolation period, but yeah, just generally find out more about people within the industry that we love.
Yeah, and as we move forward, by the way, that was Katie. So
hello, Katie.
Yeah, and as we move forward, we'll be branching it out and talking to people basically about what they do, whether it's to do with lockdown or other stuff, and kind of find out why they do what they do, and what kind of advice they have for people, and also like how they deal with their mental health, and how they deal with their energy, and how they deal with navigating a sometimes scary and strange world of social media and things like that. It's pretty much endless. We can pretty much ask anything on these things, and we probably will. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm excited just to keep, I think, virtually meeting new people, talking to people that we do know, but seeing sort of a different side of them or perspective from them that maybe you know, they haven't necessarily talked about too much, but they feel they want to share, because I think you and I we're just curious, aren't we? We really love people and what they bring to this world, and also like I love learning from others and taking tidbits of information and advice, and because everybody's got something they can teach you. Everybody.
Yeah, they have, and they do. So
yeah,
it's really good to see, and it's really good to speak to people and get their perspective on things, which is cool.
Absolutely. So are you going, or am I going to go?
So basically, what the purpose of this little live session is to tell you that we are going to be back next week with our weekly Thursday show. We're not sure what time yet. We need to still work that out, but we'll put out an announcement anyway. But we are actually changing the channel and the name of the podcast and the format a little bit as well, to move forward to something a bit more sustainable. Isolation Gigs was amazing. We had some brilliant people on, and we had some brilliant chats, and we helped people through lockdown, hopefully. And you know, but now lockdown is in a different phase, I would say, rather than ended. I would say phase. We want to do something a bit more long term. So we are changing the name of Isolation Gigs to In Isolation, and there'll be a new logo and a new kind of look to it on Monday when I upload it. And the podcast is going to have a format where we talk to one person each week, and we go a bit more in depth into what they do and why they do it, and we'll just have a really good old chat, really. And that's going to be called In Isolation with whoever guest that we have on that week is, and it could be anyone. Predominantly, it's going to be musicians and art people in the arts, actors, dancers. You know, the kind of people we've had on already, but we've already had doctors and nurses on. We've had life coaches. We've had people that make videos. So the opportunities are endless now with this. So it's going to be in isolation, and every week it's going to be in isolation with. And if we do any other offshoots, we'll tell you about those as we come.
Yeah, and we're gonna because obviously we've built up a lot of videos from the isolation period, and so we're going to pop them in a playlist on our YouTube, so you can still sort of view anything that you've seen before or you wanted to catch up with. And that's we're sort of like closing that intense period off, aren't we? And like you say, we've wanted to do this as a long-term podcast, whatever you call it, for ages. So we're sort of now, okay, this is our next phase of it, and we're excited because it's been amazing. Like every single conversation we've had over the last few months has been, I've found, just so interesting. And as I said, people bring something different, and you take something from everybody. And I think it's just, I've found that. So anybody that's watched, I hope they felt the same, basically. And we just want to carry on connecting people, really, don't we?
Yeah, we want to. That's what we want to do, and also bring some value to people that are watching. And if anyone is watching, there are a few people watching, I can see. And you've got any subjects you want us to cover, or people you want us to interview, or if you are one of those notable people that want to come on the podcast, or even if you're just sitting at home and you think, I fancy being on that podcast or that podcast, talk about my life and what you do, get in touch. ElliotPortermusic@gmail.com is where I'm taking the kind of emails there, so you can get in touch there, or just message us on here. Instagram. Instagram's going to change as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Instagram's going to change. It's going to be branded the same as this, so it'll be In Isolation. And I think, we are still very much supporting the live gigs, and because they're going to carry on. And I think even as and when we actually get out and do real gigs, then we can do live streams from that. So I think, there's still going to be those sort of things shared, and they'll sort of maybe be in the isolation gigs category. But yeah, we're here to connect with people. We're here to hopefully, as you say, bring some value and some service to others, and things that you might be going through that you don't find that easy to talk about. You don't find the resources to tap into that. We kind of want to do that a bit, and yes, the Instagram page is going to go down that line a little bit more. So encouragement and optimism, and kind of just shining light on certain topics that we feel need a light shone on.
Yeah, exactly. And like I say, the opportunities are endless. And please, if you're watching, please give us a subscribe, because every subscribe or like, there's a thumbs up I can see there. I think it's from Facebook, so thank you, Facebook. Every like, subscribe, thumbs up helps us kind of grow the channel. And as we grow the channel, we can then get some really exciting guests on that we've got in mind. But we do need to grow it first before we can kind of take it up and up and up and up. So thank you for being with us so far, and hopefully you've enjoyed it.
And also, we're also very open to constructive criticism. So if there's anything that you feel we can improve for when we launch next Thursday, then let us know. Get in touch. If you're watching on Facebook, pop a message in. Otherwise, if you're watching on YouTube, contact Elliot, and you'll put your email address in, won't you?
Yeah. And if there's any features you want to see us do, you want to see us go out and interview people, walk dogs or something, chat, go and ride horses or something, just let us know. We might not do it, but we might.
We might. Yeah, holler at us and let us know.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much the announcement, isn't it? I think that's the info that we wanted to share.
That's it. So look out on Monday. I'm going to be posting about this and changing over all the kind of things. But yeah, keep looking at isolation gigs. There's still gigs going on this weekend. Like you say, as people do live gigs, they're actually streaming them now. So we've helped that in there. I know a few people where we've kind of helped their reach, because they're doing the gigs and then they're going on isolation gigs as well. So that's going to carry on.
Oh yeah, that's not going anywhere. Like online gigging is a thing of the future now. So
yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, please subscribe. Come back next week. We'll be back at next week, Thursday, the 6th of August. and we'll announce what's happening at start of next week.
Yep, wonderful. Can't wait.
All right.
Okay,
Enjoy
bye.
the sunshine. Have a great
You
weekend.
too.
See ya.